What's going on, guys? Back with another review of the Bodyguard 2.0. I just got back with this from this weekend. Put another 150 rounds through it. Currently at 250 rounds to the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, and so far it is a pretty good gun. It has had a couple malfunctions, so I want to go over that real quick. The last one I just had was a failure to eject. The round actually went off and did what it's supposed to do, but the casing actually got stuck in the gun. So instead of just tapping and racking like you normally would, I had to actually take out the magazine, and it was really locked in place, so I had to put a lot of force in it and finally get that casing out of there. And then after that, it shot fine. So that was the only malfunction that I had on that day. Like I said, 150 rounds through it at that session. Other than that, I've had magazine issues on the first two magazines that came with the gun. They were not loading properly, so it seems like it was just a spring issue that just needed to kind of get broken in, because after the first mag I ran through each of them. They ran fine after that, so thankfully that's resolved. The other thing's probably a ammo related issue, I would imagine. I was shooting PMC ammo, 380, full metal jacket through it, so take that for what you will. But other than that, it's been pretty reliable. It still shoots pretty well. I will say that the ergonomics are great. It doesn't have a whole lot of recoil compared to any other 380. I still think that this is definitely the best option out there. But with saying that, I still think there's a lot better carry options on the market. Specifically, I would say 9mm options out there, like SIG, Glock, Smith & Wesson. I just don't have the full confidence in the 380 caliber. I know it's effective, but I think 9mm is still a better option for anybody that's wanting to defend themselves and stop the threat as quickly as possible. And also saying that, just clear and safe. I like the trigger on here for the most part. The pull, it's a little mushy, hits a wall.
We're going to build a wall.
But it's a pretty defined wall right here. And then it breaks. But my biggest complaint is the actual reset. Because most resets, you can actually kind of have a tactile feel when you're coming off of it. This one, whenever you're shooting it, I don't know if it's just... I don't know what it is about it, but almost all the time, I do not feel that reset at all. And what that causes to happen is, especially you can't feel it, and it feels like the trigger should reset about here, and it doesn't. So there was several times, 2 or 3 times throughout the day, that I would pull it and think I'm like back on the wall because I don't really feel the reset. And then, well, that time it actually worked. I hit it the last second. But typically what would happen is you feel like you're on the wall because you don't really feel that tactile reset. I did it again. But you don't think you're on the wall, or you think you're on the wall, and then you go to pull it and nothing goes out, and you're like, what the heck? So I started trying to just get in the habit of just letting it go all the way out. But that was also affecting my shot groups, which sucks, because it was kind of pulling the gun down to the left because I was really just letting it go all the way out and then hitting it back. Not as exaggerated, but probably out like this. And then, so just that more aggressive, not sitting on the wall, trigger pulling was pulling my shots low to the left. I was shooting pretty tight groups at 7 yards. It's probably still 6-inch groups, but just the fact that they were a little low and to the left, I was never really hitting right where I was aiming. So that being said, I like this gun a lot, but I think if you're just going to go out and buy this gun and throw it on your waistband just because it's cheaper and it's super easy to carry, I would say that's really stupid. And you need to buy this gun, buy at least like 1,000 rounds of it, probably put half of that through it before you actually carry this thing, because you might find yourself in a situation that you go to draw this and you're either not getting the rounds coming out because you're not used to that trigger pull, or you're jerking your shots and then you miss and hit somebody else on accident if you're in a self-defense situation like that, and it's just going to be a bad time for everybody. So of course, with any gun, you need to get a lot of training and shoot a lot with it, but I think these guns, especially because they are so tiny, they're not as intuitive to shoot with. And I just believe they take more practice than a larger, full-size, compact gun. That's why I would still recommend to instead of just going with the smallest, cheapest option, go out and get like a P365, a Shield, a 43, something 9mm and a little bit bigger so you can control it. And I would say those triggers are going to be a lot more easy to just jump in there and start shooting with. I've never had any issues with any of those guns, and I've shot all of them, and I own a couple of them. And yeah, so just if you're going to get this, be aware that you need to shoot it a lot, and don't just buy it and think, oh, it's super comfortable, that's all I need. It's just a gun that I can carry forever, because no, you need to actually practice with it and make sure that you can hit what you're shooting at. And yeah, it's just super important. So it is very nice to carry. You really do forget it's there. But like I said, I feel like you just need to train with it a lot. That's one of the biggest kind of downsides of these smaller guns, is they are harder to shoot, and that's just part of the game. I mean, you have to put more time into these. Handguns are harder in general, but the smaller the handgun you go, the less comfortable and more time it takes to learn the platform. So go out and buy this gun if you really desire it, but just remember, you're going to need to spend a lot of ammo and a lot of time practicing with it, because you want to get efficient and know what you're going to shoot at, or know what you're hitting when you're shooting at it. So that's just my thoughts on it. I like the gun, but that's kind of a drawback in my eyes, because not everybody can afford to go buy 1,000 rounds or 2,000 rounds and practice every weekend like we would like to. But so that's really the biggest drawback to this gun and the 380s, those little micro 380s in general. But either way, go out, get guns, buy ammo, practice, shoot, do all of it, and hopefully that was helpful for y'all, and I'll catch you on the next video.